What's going on, DZ? What's
What up?
going on,
What up? What up?
EDL? Another week, another beautiful. Um, what are we gonna call it? This is week 11, week 10 preview. Or, I mean, recap week 11 preview. Best of the best. Um, Speaking of best of the best, guess what the research team did today, DZ?
What do you got for us?
Nothing.
Hmm.
We had a little bit of a busy week, but I mean, we did have some good stuff we're gonna go over, recap, talk about. DZ's gonna carry, but let's take a look at last week and what was week 10. I know we had a Survivor knockout. I don't know what idiot thought the undefeated Eagles were gonna beat the Commanders. But that didn't happen. I don't know where the hell I'm at. I think I'm scrolling by it. Yep, Edwards got knocked out. We still got 4 people left holding on in the Survivor poll. I think that's the best we've done so far. Confidence picks. A couple people forgot. I seen that they got knocked out. We did have our best week of the year, DZ. Should we just highlight that when we go over it?
This week.
Yeah, we had the highest score. We cracked the top 10 in the EDL last week.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just look at it now. We have Pete, who had a monster week last week, was 320 something. I'm gonna get the
324 point something.
324. Where is he at? Point four, which ties him for the eighth highest score ever in the EDL. If you look just by if I just quick find 2022. We haven't been doing much in the over 300 club this year as a league, but Pete did crack the top 10. Very impressive, and that happened last week, and that happened without. I don't think he had any monster players.
Yo, I'm to the show. I'm to the show right now.
Get the fuck out. Who is that?
That's my nephew. I'll talk to you in a minute.
All right, DZ, without further ado, you got anything you want to mention? I know we are through the bye weeks. I think last week was a big bye week. We have one more, and then I think it slows down. We have week 14. Last week was an injury week. Injury week, bye week. People getting through. Let's just fucking go back and look at it. Let's just boogie on through this.
Let's go.
Seeing how you having visitors, do you want to get them in here? You want to give them a quick interview?
Hey, best Fortnite player ever right there, by the way.
Yeah. All right, week 10 results. Let's start with my game, DZ. 249.1 going against Matt, who put up 235.8. He had me sweating. I mean, I know Matt's team isn't quite doing what he thought it was going to do with some of the trades he's made. But he does have star power. Put up a decent score this week. Start with mine. Give me my pay dirt, DZ.
I went with Aaron Rodgers, man. I thought he was left for dead. 24.8 this one, Nate. You had Kyler missed this week, unfortunately for you. He's been doing pretty well for you. But this ends a 4-game stretch for Aaron Rodgers where he was sub 20 points. 24.8, not world beating, but man, he's been struggling. Kind of nice to see him have a game for you.
Yeah, best week of the year. I want Kyler back though this week. That's for sure. Don't want to have to gamble on that twice. Who's my Joe Dirt?
This one was just, I got a few of these throughout the Joe Dirts, but it's just an injury, man. You made a great trade with got Mostert, and Zach Ertz was actually the better piece of that. He's out, I believe, for the rest of the year, Nate. Huge blow. 2.7 in this one before he got hurt. Ugh.
Yeah, tough hit. Makes me want to think. I actually was talking to you in text or whatever, and I was thinking. I think that Ertz injury makes me. I might try to dial up one more trade this year.
All you have to do is go hit accept. Do it now. Let's do it live on the show.
A live
do
trade.
Do it now.
Oh man.
Do it now.
Let's look at Matt's team.
You're crazy.
Let's look at Matt's team and who's his pay dirt.
Man, I've been bashing him a little bit for this trade, but James Conner came through against you. 27.8, Nate, 24 touches, 2 touchdowns. First game this year with a higher score than his 2021 average of 19.1 points.
Yeah, best score, best game of the year against his former team. The fuck. Give me his Joe Dirt.
Yeah, Austin Eckler let him down here. I mean, I think if Austin Eckler has his normal game, you're kind of toast here, Nate. Only 14.5 in this one on Sunday Night Football. First game since week 3 that he didn't score at least 26.9.
Man, I really think Matt's team's better. I think he's only 3-8, but I feel like it's better. I wonder if maybe a lack of tight end or a lack of defense in different spots, if I really wanted to look at it, is where he's fallen. But I don't think it's a bad team. But I'll take the win, 250. I feel like my team's putting up solid weeks every week, so I will take it. Close win there, and let's move on to our next one. We got. Oh, well, shoot, we're sneaking into the Jerome versus Pete right here. 324.4. Already mentioned to Pete, which is a top 10 EDL score. Very impressive. Potential points of 361. I mean, he could have gone crazy and got the top score of all time in this week. Jerome, 236.3. It's not bad. Not bad. But let's start with Pete and his pay dirt.
Man, dude, I know Pete wants me to give Mahomes his flowers, and he deserves it like a lot. But man, how do I not go Justin Jefferson here, Nate? We all watched the game. 35.3, 10 catches, 193 yards, a touchdown, and just a sliver away from scoring another touchdown late in that game. Number 2 wide receiver on the year, if you go by average, at 23.2 a game.
Very impressive. Man, my keyboard's wrecked. Long story short, wrecked. Okay, give me a Joe Dirt.
We talked about it with you with Zach Ertz. Another injury. Honestly, this should be Deontay Johnson. Just having such a mid season after being a top 10 receiver last year. But I went with Cooper Kupp. This is a big blow. Only 2.9 in this game. I think the report is a high ankle sprain that should sideline him for like a month or so. Man, that Rams offense is fucking putrid now.
Yeah, what are they gonna? At least Pete has still holding on to Allen Robinson. Did he make the lineup this week?
Yeah,
so in
no.
theory, he's got next man up, but we know Allen Robinson's trash. Let's look at Matt's team and his pay dirt. I mean, Jerome's team and his pay dirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Man, this guy's been going wild. I'm gonna keep going with the back to the well with this guy, Justin Fields. Name 45.3. Actually, I was scored Mahomes in this one. It's been incredible the turnaround with Justin Fields. I offered Jerome a few weeks ago, probably like 4 or 5 weeks ago. I offered him a third for Justin Fields, and I thought, I was like, that might get it done. He did. Fortunately for him, he didn't take it. First 3 weeks for the season with Justin Fields, 11.6 average, Nate. Last 3 weeks, 42.6 points per game. Wow.
I'm looking at his stats right here. He's probably got more rushing yards over receiving yards. You know, it's funny.
Lead the league.
Guys like Justin Fields and how dynamic they are, and Lamar Jackson, like all this shit is why they make him run wide receiver routes at the combine. Like seeing this shit. But to be honest with you, they might need to go see if all those wide receivers can throw the ball if they're gonna run this. Why not run this kind of shit? Give me his Joe Dirt.
I went with Kyle Pitts, Nate. 5.8 in this one. We've been blaming the coach all season long. 34 targets over the last 3 weeks. Last 2 weeks, only 4 catches, 11.5 points total. Man, I don't want to call him a bust yet. I've been an apologist for him for a while now, blaming the coach and shit. But 34 targets over 3 games, and you're just not really getting much out of him.
Damn, he is getting the targets. Good spot there. Yeah, Kyle Pitts. What the fuck? Maybe if they land, and they're almost playing too good. They're too good to get one of the top quarterbacks. So they're going to be interesting next year to see if they continue to roll with Mariota and company. Good. Is that it? Yeah, good win for Pete. 234. Very impressive. Putting up the points. Let's move on to our next matchup. We got Rupp versus Casey. I think this was our game of the week, but weren't we gonna see if we could find a better game? Was there any better games? But anyways, let's.
You and that shit.
Yeah, yeah. Let's skip it. Fuck it. Stay true to the course. Shoot, we got Zoe and let's go down to Zoe versus Seward. Battle of the sub 200s, 187.1, 141.1. Seward, 3-8, 3-8. Would be kind of silly if Seward snuck into the playoffs. Could happen. Let's look at Seward's and his pay dirt.
You're not going to like this one, Nate. I went with Jeffrey Wilson in this one. 25.7, 19 touches, 143 yards, a touchdown. 42 snaps in this one, 61% of the snap share. Mostert's down to 19 snaps, 27.5%. Yikes.
Crazy that how well Mostert was. I don't want to say well, but like he was good enough, and then they went and another surprising one. We kind of skipped over James Conner. They just straight cut Eno out of nowhere.
He had to have done something, right?
Yeah,
I think he fumbled a kickoff, but he got 0 touches. Fuck them, man. Fuck the bitches. They're fuck Cliff.
Right. Give me his Joe Dirt.
I went with Alvin Kamara, 9.1. After a really good 4-game stretch where he averaged 29.1 points per game in weeks 5 through 8. Last 2 games, not so good. 20.1 total in those 2 games.
Yep, I agree. Kamara, he's been doing better, but not today. And let's look at Zoe's team. Nothing to show of. God, has Robbie in? Give me his pay dirt.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna look up this fucker's how to say his last name, but Nick Westbrook Ekine. Fuck, he might be the highest scoring guy for him all year. I should have looked that up too as well. 28.9 in this one, Nate. 5 catches, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, I bet you. Although Zoe doesn't really need help losing, I mean, this is kind of going against what he's trying to do here, which is put up points. So I mean, he probably cut him. I don't know.
Hey, give me his Joe Dirt. Same guy. Screwing
No,
up the plan.
This is so funny, man. I feel like the KC Chiefs is just really mind fucking some people. Like when a player lands there, like I feel like they get overdrafted. We saw it with CEH. I'm going to talk about him in a little bit. And now we're kind of seeing it with Sky Moore. I mean, they went out and got Kadarius Toney, who I'm going to talk about as well later, but only 1.6 points in this one. I don't see the progression. He's got 5. Check this out. He's got 4 games this year, Nate, of 0 points or worse. And I said, or worse.
I really liked Sky Moore coming out too. Still not ready to give up on him, but not what we want to see. Good win for Seward. At least feeling what wins feel like again lately. And let's move on to our next one. We got yourself, DZ. This was the game of the week. What are you talking about? We didn't have a game of the week. Sub 200s go hard in this league. 185.8 to 185.2. You get the dub. Are we?
Stat correction, please.
Yeah, are we clear to stat correction time yet?
I think Thursday, right? Fuck, I don't know.
Sometimes
Edwards is gonna be all over it.
Yeah.
Edwards would have said something already.
Yeah, he'll know. Let's look at your team and your pay dirt. Who did good for you?
Hey, Nate, if you ask me if I use this platform to benefit myself, I'd have to plead the fifth. But if you don't like it, change the tax code. Anyways, I'm going with Deontay Foreman, Nate. I said go hit accept right now. I'm gonna make you hit accept right after I tell you this. 25.2 points in this one, Nate. 31 carries, 130 yards, a touchdown. Since C-Mac has been traded over to the Niners, number 7 running back, averaging 21.8 points per game. Hey, and this guy is debunking myths all over the place, talking about it, torn Achilles, debunking that. Oh, the Carolina Panthers, shitty offense, debunking that. Go hit accept.
Debunking. Foreman, good game, definitely. And who's your Joe Dirt?
Fuck. After further review, I should have went George Kittle, bro. I got 2 guys on my roster that have more points than George Kittle at tight end this year. It's disgusting. It's pissing me off. But I went with Chris Olave. First single-digit game since week 1. Only 7 points in this one. Obviously, I still love the kid, but 7 points. Come on, Chris.
Man, you ever looked at George Kittle's picture?
Uh, is there like one picture that
It had to have
stands
been
out?
from like just if you click on his profile on your team, it had to have been from
Oh,
like 10 years ago. He's got a baby face and short hair. All right,
oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
all. All right, fuck George Kittle and everybody
for
else on your
real,
team.
for real.
All right,
Yeah,
let's look
not.
at Plainview, who almost fucked up his plan, his losing plan. But who is his pay dirt?
He actually wants to beat me because he wants me to miss the playoffs and him to get my first round pick. Blah blah blah. But anyways, kind of interesting right here because we got two. His pay dirt and his Joe Dirt are kind of connected. They're both players that we kind of wondered if they hit the jackpot getting traded to where they did. Kadarius Toney definitely paid off for him on this one. 19.4 points, 4 catches, 90 total yards. They use him in the run game a lot, a touchdown. Second highest total in his 2-year career, which I thought was a little bit surprising. But he's missed a lot of games. But man, I would love to own Kadarius Toney right now.
His value has definitely roller coastered up and down, up and down. I don't know. I still like Sky more. I don't know why. Give me his Joe Dirt.
Yeah, I went with Chase Claypool 1.8. People thought maybe going to the Bears, offense is on the rise. Maybe he gets freed a little bit because of the wide receiver bunch over there in Pittsburgh. 8 targets in 2 games, 2 catches, 21 yards, 3 catches, 21 yards. Blah.
God, I feel like Chase Claypool and Kadarius Toney are the same guy. Just boomer bust.
Except for the one of
One
them's like on steroids and 6'4".
1 point, 0 points, and then a 20 pointer. Yeah, give me. Was that his? Give me his. You did them both,
That's
didn't you?
it. That's it. That's it.
I was still thinking about Kadarius Toney. All right, let's move on to our next game. We got Robbie versus Bird. 229.8 to 175.7. Bird keeps rolling. Keeps rolling. Give me his pay dirt.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy right here, and it's funny because I just put the poll in the chat, man. CeeDee Lamb or Chris Olave, and CeeDee Lamb went nuts in this one. They dug 38 points, 11 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. He went from number 15 wide receiver, which is respectful, averaging 14.7 a game going into this week. Now he's the number 8 wide receiver, averaging 17.3 points per game.
Biggest game of the year for him, for sure, right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe even like the past 2 years. Then give me his Joe Dirt.
Yeah, man, this is inexplicable. Luckily for Bird, he didn't need it on Monday Night Football. AJ Brown, 1 catch, 7 yards. Before the week, I'm going to do the same thing with him that I just did with CD. Before week 9, he was number 7 wide receiver, 18.9 points per game. After week 10, he only dropped 2 spots in the wide receiver ranking, but dropped 2 points per game down to 16.9. So kind of disheartening for Bird on that one.
That may be the best game Bird has gotten out of CeeDee Lamb. Just kind of glancing at the stats, that might have been it. Give me his, you did his Joe Dirt.
Yeah, we got to Robbie.
Let's go Robbie's pay dirt.
I think this is a sneaky little pickup by Robbie last year, and man, I'm the one that gave it to him for like some E-bucks, maybe like 12 E-bucks. Donovan People-Jones, Nate, 14.9 points in this one. He has more double-digit games this year than single-digit games. And remember, Deshaun Watson will be back in Week 13. And Donovan People-Jones, big receiver and very, very young, 23 years old. He could grow with that offense and be the vocal point at some point.
And then give me his Joe Dirt.
Another injury one. I just went Dallas Goedert. Really good player for Robbie. He had 10.8 in this game, but obviously, I don't know how serious his injury is. I think I might have saw an IR, 4 games missed for sure. But that sucks, dude. Injuries suck.
Definitely. He was one when I saw Ertz get hurt. I had a little bit of trade talks in the season with Goddard, with Robbie, and I was like, man, maybe I need to try to find a way to revisit those. And then Goddard goes and gets hurt. So there's that. All right, let's see. Good win for Bird, 229. Coming up on Robbie. I think we skipped one, right? Wasn't our game of the week in theory?
Yeah,
Yours was game of the
Rupp,
week. Your point,
Rupp and Edwards. Rupp and Casey.
Rupp and
As we gotta go.
Casey. 216, 184. Let's start with Rupp and his pay dirt.
Yeah, Payer. I mean, this is kind of meh, but I went with Antonio Gibson, 17.6 on Monday Night Football for him. Look, we a lot of talk about his value diminishing when Brian Robinson, the young rookie running back, came back. 15.8 before Brian Robinson, 14 points per game after Brian Robinson. So he's still getting some usage. He's still startable. So luckily for Rupp, he's still a usable running back in that offense.
Might be better with Brian Robinson, just to not give him some breathers because he's not an every down back. Give me his Joe Dirt.
Man, this is ugly. This is probably my biggest eat crow from the preseason here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire got 0 points. I don't know. Did the guy play? Maybe somebody can comment with a snake emoji in the chat. But in that same time, I'm going to use the same time frame as Brian Robinson, even though it's a different team. But same time frame. So week 1 through 4, CEH averaged 20.9 points per game, which put him easily in the top 5 running backs. Since Brian Robinson has come back, even though that doesn't matter, 5.5 points per game. It's pretty unlucky for Rupp.
Crazy. It's like as soon as we talked to him, it was like week 3 or week 4. We're like, who are the goats this year? Like who are the whatever? And CH was like a top 5, top 10 running back, and just looking at his stats, nothing. Crazy. Move on to KC's team and his pay dirt.
Yeah, something interesting I saw when I was thinking about his team. Like, this is the strategy normally deployed in like a redraft league, and it's called stacking. You take a lot of guys from the same team, a good offense. His is normally the Bengals. Like, we all know you want the Bengals to go dead when you play KC. This week it was Dallas. So his pay dirt, I'm just going with Dallas stacking as his pay dirt. 47.9 combined. Pollard had 26.2. Schultz had 20.4.
Impressive. And then give me his Joe Dirt.
I went with Dallas stacking because he started Zeke Elliott, who had 0, and he had Noah Brown, who went 1.3. So I guess the jury's still out on the stacking in Dynasty format.
That is hilarious. Good win for Rupp. Game of the week. Getting it done when all the pressure's on. Let's move on to previews and see who the pressure's on this week. Is it just fantasy previews? I don't even know if I've submitted my lineup yet. Doesn't matter.
I hope not.
Let's skip on first one. Yourself versus Bird. You got a big one here, DZ. You gonna be able to? Is Foreman gonna carry or what?
He's not gonna be on my team. So no, he's not gonna carry my team. I carry yours. Hit that button.
I'm gonna go Bird here.
Yeah, of course.
Bird's been rolling. All right.
Of course.
Edwards versus Robbie. I'm gonna go Edwards. He's flirting with some dubs here, some wins, inadvertent wins, and he's gonna try to screw it up, but he's gonna screw around and get a win for some reason.
I'm gonna go Robbie. Trevor Lawrence looks like he's on bye. Even though Robbie loses out on Dallas Goedert, he's got Foster Moreau, which I feel like he's been playing well. I'll go with Robbie in this one.
Next one we got Seward and Rupp. I'm going. A lot of people haven't set their lineups. Set your lineups, me included. I'm going to go Rupp here.
Yeah, man, the battle of the teams that will not trade ever. I'm going to go Rupp.
We got Casey versus Zoe. Got to go Casey there.
Definitely.
Matt versus Jerome. This one could be a good game. More rushing yards or passing yards between the two quarterbacks? Hurts and Fields.
Dude, that's easy. That's easy.
I'm going to go Matt here. I kind of like, after I saw what Matt's team did last week, I kind of like, it looks like he's at full strength offensively. I'm going to go Matt.
Those running backs look sexy, but I'm going to go with Jerome. Fields is playing in Atlanta, fast track. He might drop 60, 70 points.
All right, and then our game of the week is Pete, undefeated Pete versus myself, DZ. And I'll tell you what, I went back when I was doing this research team last week. We took a couple notes down as we were doing it. And Pete, who is 11-0 in his history, in his chase for perfection this season of an undefeated season, he has never, ever once been 12-0. Ever. He was 11-0 last year, I believe, and he caught his first L on week 12 this week. So this is so far his nemesis week. He's never done it, never gone this far on a winning streak. So it's only up to me to stop him. I know he's missing Cooper Kupp, thank God, but I'm also missing Tyreek Hill. I think I'm going to win by a landslide. I'm saying me by at least 45.
No, if you had Tyreek, you might have a shot, but you don't. So it's over.
Who did the Chiefs play this week? Hold on, let's think about this.
Chargers. Sunday Night Football.
Who did the Browns play? The Bills. That's gonna be.
Oh, well, and that's bad for Pete though, because the script could get out of hand for him. We'll see though, because Josh Allen's elbow kind of flimsy right now.
Dude, what's the chances David Montgomery does his week 13, 14, 15, 16 thing he's done the last few years with Herbert being out now?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to own Monty right now, so that's a good point.
All right, I'm going to pick mine, but it's an uphill battle. I'll probably be the one that picks me. Good shit, DZ. Good EDL. Realest, dealest ever. Peace out.